Hello. I have a few things to say about um, 504 plans. I think this sounds random. Um, I'm not sure, obviously the entire world doesn't know what a 504 plan is, but I'm going to kind of use it. I just want to talk about it in a different way today than it's usually talked about. Um, Kind of a brief definition. The 504 plan is a plan developed to ensure that a child who has a disability identified under the law and is attending an elementary or secondary educational institution receives accommodations that will ensure their academic success and access to the learning environment. So basically, a 504 plan is typically used in school. So if there's a child has a diagnosis that affects a major life activity, a 504 plan could be very useful. So if a child, and they don't have to be permanent either, it could be a temporary situation. So if a child breaks their leg or something like that and needs, maybe unusual accommodations or whatever, or if a child has ADHD and needs extra time and tests or whatever. So 504 plans can also extend to the workplace. So it's not just a school thing. Those are utilized fairly frequently in my experience. But the reason I bring it up because I feel like we need to be 504ing our lives more than we are. School and work are only part of our daily lives. I think it's great if you need extra time on tests and your institution grants you that request. If you need to work in a quiet location with minimal lighting, your employer can provide that accommodation. But how are you accommodating yourself and involving those you live with to understand more about your needs and how to meet them? I don't see this as a demand list. It's not some list as a way to control those around you. It's a list so that others can understand you more and everyone can work together and develop empathy and support others' needs. First and foremost, your own. And I think, like I'm saying, 504 in your lives. It's not much different than giving yourself self-compassion, self-care, or setting appropriate boundaries, So it doesn't necessarily matter what you call it, but I just, thought it was an important topic to address. Mostly, I think it's about setting your own accommodations within your headspace. It's not just about looking at your environment and seeing if anything needs to be changed, but it's about noticing that, when you're feeling rejected, you tend to catastrophize and suddenly it feels like the world's against you. So maybe you need a few minutes to sit in a dark room and meditate, or maybe you need to go for a run, or maybe you need to think about a time where you felt really proud of yourself. You could call this CBT or, like I said, whatever, but really it's an exercise in being kind and gentle to yourself. I like the term 504 at home because to me it implies a certain responsibility to develop one's level of self-awareness in order to reduce stress and improve your quality of life. Knowing our limits is crucial, and recognizing and honoring them, I think, is a necessary act of self-love. And I think that I hear from so many people who are stressed, a lot overwhelmed, taking things out on their kids. How do I stop? And it's not as simple as, well, don't do that. We need to kind of examine what is going on in your headspace that is reducing your ability to tolerate certain behaviors within your children or your spouse or whatever. And if you're not kind of providing these accommodations, if you will, throughout your day, then you might explode. You know what I mean? You're going to feel that either sensory overload or overwhelm and react in ways that you didn't anticipate or want to. Anyway, so just wanted to put my 2 cents there. Thanks for listening.